A healthy market always has a bit of a curve up and down.
Dubai wants you to stay longer.
Yeah. You see the malls full of people, bags, shopping, thriving economy.
You know, when they said Habibi come to Dubai, I think everybody came.
Okay, Rani, so tell me, you've been doing off-plan for the last 7-8 years and that's your bloodline.
Right.
Off-plan has always been my favorite. I consider myself an off-plan specialist. That is what I've always done.
Yeah.
I'd like to get your opinion on what you feel would be a good off-plan real estate investment, and what are the goods and the bads related to investing in off-plan.
Right. It's a really important question, and it's a really good question. Considering the flurry of developers that we've got going on in Dubai, you know, it's hard to keep. I have 85 groups with developers on my phone. Right?
I'm there with you. Ting,
Right?
ting,
Ting, ting,
tung,
ting. It's
tung.
going on like 106 messages.
But in a way, it's good because, you know, you keep abreast of exactly what is happening, trends, markets, what is coming through, payment plans.
Yeah.
So on and so forth.
But for somebody who doesn't have the finer eye for details, you know, for them to discern what is a good project versus what's not, I think this is a really important project because you tend to get confused and overwhelmed with all of this information, and every project seems to be grander than the last one and has a better price point or has a more lucrative payment plan or, you know, something, or a better location. So it's really important to have a basic understanding of what are the factors, what are the foundations of what a good off-plan project is. And I think one of the key things is, if you're looking at an investment for off-plan, is I would say it has to be the uniqueness of the building. And, you know, what is about this building that makes it stand apart from everything else, right? Because essentially once this project is delivered, and presumably it's competing with whatever is available in the secondary market right now, as well as competing with whatever else is going to be delivered which is currently in the off-plan market. So how unique is your project? How does it stand apart from everything else? What's the features about this building that makes it better than everybody else? Coupled with that, I also believe this very strongly. Not every apartment in that very same project that you choose will appreciate in the same way. If you can find a unique configuration or layout of an apartment in a unique building, you're setting up your investment for more success.
Views also matter.
Views matter, the layouts matter. Do you have a storeroom? Do you have the balcony that has a dual view, for example, if you can afford it, whatever is in your means? Try to find and try to acquire the most unique possible thing in whatever investment you have. It's not about finding something within your budget. It's about finding the best possible, most unique thing within your budget. I never recommend anybody to overextend themselves, but I do really focus on trying to find something that would be easier to flip in the market. I think the developer's credibility, their track record, their name and brand also factors in really it really does factor into the investment. You have certain developers that kind of are now coasting on their brand, the brands that they've established, and they're kind of like happy with where they are. You don't really see a lot of innovation going on now, and they're just selling out because, you know, they've established their names. But I feel like the private developers are coming in, and, you know, they're
upping the game.
They're upping their game. They sharpen their claws, and they're like, you know what?
And which is fantastic because all these other developers who already established have to come to par or
reduce the price or up your game. And the private developers are, you know, they're capturing the market very quickly because they're offering more value within the same budgets. So I think that's really good. You need to have a developer that has a certain sort of history with development, and that is one of the reasons why when I get approached by a new developer, I always look like, and these could be developers who have a history of doing projects in another country, right? But I need to see what projects they've done before I take them on board, and before I say, okay, you know what, AQUA Properties as a brokerage is willing to partner with this person, and then be able to sort of work with them in selling their properties. Yeah, so I think...
another good thing, I mean, generally, maybe a bit out of context, but, you know, what do people generally say as to what are the first 3 things you have to look at when buying real estate? Location. But Dubai has been so thoughtful and has planned out the whole city in
Every
such a way.
location is kind of its location,
Every location is a location.
Yeah.
As a location to look out for.
Absolutely.
And then,
right.
of course, within those locations, as to what you said, is key where we come in as specialists for our investors to advise them as to within this specific community which would be the best location or the best project with all those XY factors, where it stands out as an investment proposition. A building on this side of the road could probably be 30% higher than the building right on the next side. Why is that? Quality, amenities,
the USPs,
trust of the developer, past deliverance, so on and so forth.
Absolutely, a lot of these things, and you were alluding to this earlier, like branded residences are now coming in, right? And which is very alluring because the luxury market in the branded residence segment has skyrocketed, and so a lot of people want to put their money in. But you've also got to see who is this branded residence partnering with in terms of a developer, right? And a lot of times the developer is hoping that they can leverage the brand's sort of fancy name into their project, but they don't necessarily have a history of delivering that quality. Just because it's branded, and that's the risk. That's a little bit of a risk. Just because it's branded doesn't mean that it's going to be delivering good quality.
Correct.
You've got to separate the developer and the brand, and look at the developer as something like, okay, what have you done in the past? And I feel like it's good that brands are coming in because they bring in their own guidelines as to what kind of design there has to be, what kind of features there have to be, what kind of finishing services and all of that.
Correct.
Also at the same time, what I think is really interesting, I've seen some European developers come in whose standard of quality is really, once those projects get delivered, I think they're going to be game changers.
Yeah.
The basic standard.
We went to this development the other day where we saw this show apartment out of the world.
Right.
And delivering in JVC. So JVC, I think in the next 2-3 years is going to be a notch up.
And Arjan.
As to what this. And Arjan as well.
Arjan, we've got a big project coming there.
Fantastic.
Yeah, 1.2 million square feet.
1,200 units, 28 amenities.
Yeah, 200,000 square feet of amenities, pools, Zen gardens. That's a unique project.
Yes.
I still, from everything else that I've seen across the board, I still haven't seen a project of that size, of that sort of impact. The plots, it's the biggest plot that sits.
303,000 square foot plot.
Yeah.
1,200 apartments, 300,000 retail, out of which 180,000 is usable retail area.
That's correct. There's a mall coming under the building.
And that is why we've got such fantastic footfall. Even before launching, we had people lining up. Obviously, with the regulations, we had to wait for the escrow to come in. But just a few days in, and we're
already sold 2 towers. And
more than 50% sold out.
Yeah.
And the reason is all because of things we talked about. Obviously, location within the location, the building itself, the amenities within the building, the features and facilities that it offers, and then obviously within that, close to that community, the schools, the hospitals. It has. It's a family favorite.
It is. I think Arjan, over the next few years, along with certain other areas, like I feel like Dubai Creek Harbour
could be potentially the new downtown.
So I think that's going to be interesting to see over the next 2 to 3 years. Dubai Maritime City. I think I love waterfront properties. I think there's a lot of promise there. I think there's a lot of promise.
Dubai government, the way they support that infrastructure, the vision. You've got all the roads, networks up and ready to be able to accommodate all those developments coming through.
Absolutely.
Wherever they feel there is a bit of a shortage. For example, Sukem going road towards Arjan, already announced 2 months ago, is going to be doubling up.
Hessa Street is also getting expanded.
SSC is going to be doubling up. So
the infrastructure will be laid out if it's not
there. So if you're out of Dubai 6 months and you come back and you're like,
you don't know the ways anymore.
This is where I was. How do I get there again?
Exits have changed now. Palm Jebel Ali, what an incredible launch in the last 1 year. We'll be seeing a lot of sort of growth happening in that area as well. So there are these.
Yes, all these big boys. Nakhil, Emar, Tamak, Miras, coming through with so many
interesting
projects coming
through. So, these developers are obviously not putting their money in because they're putting their money in because they see what the sort of potential benefits are. And they want to ride that wave and offer something of value, something that's unique to everybody who's investing. So I think it'll be interesting now with respect to off-plan.
Yeah, so looking forward to 2024 and beyond.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for taking the time out.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and I enjoyed our conversation.
And we should be doing this more and more often.
We will definitely be doing more of this and picking out new projects to speak about as well.
Yeah, I think we should do that. Talk about more focused communities and areas, and then specific developers and different projects that are coming through. And obviously, most importantly, also talk about AQUA.
We're doing some interesting things.
Yeah. So
we've got a lot of stuff coming in.
Yeah. So talk about the next 18 months and the vision AQUA has, what it's going to be doing for Dubai.
Absolutely. If you want more information with respect to off-plan properties, please reach out to us. Get in touch. I'm sure the number is going to be here somewhere. And you can WhatsApp us, email us, and one of our consultants will be in touch with you to speak about off-plan projects. Maybe you're not wrong. Maybe there is a chance we come down. But there's also a chance that we go up. And if we go up, you're certainly priced out.
Yeah, of course. Again, this is where we start talking about the visa, the golden visa.
If you're buying off-plan, you have the option of buying whichever units you prefer. It's a secondary market. It's only what's available in the market, what other people are selling.